Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. Or for tonight, a group of people and a picture playing Dungeons and Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, depending on where you're watching this, there are suggestions to the right or to the left. But for everyone else, if you're actually here because you want to be here, no matter the reason, it's a pleasure to have you with us. I also forgot to post a invitation to our kind friend from Ikigai. Actually, Tobiyashi, could you do this for me?
Yeah.
Thanks. So, if you're watching us from Ikigai, because you remember that last week there was an episode, and you showed up anyway, it's a pleasure to have you with us. But yeah, that's it. And if you like the campfire, Ambiance Mixer. There's information below about the website where you can find such things. You can build them, find others that other people have made. It only costs something when you want to download it, and it's 95% of it anyway is royalty free. So I think that's it. Oh, and I don't have my second screen to show me when people talk in the chat, because it happens so often, every single week without exception. Alright, so well, that's everything we have to say. So if you're wondering where Fisher is, well, he's tending to school stuff, so he will probably be missing for tonight's episode, but he promised that if he can get enough work done, he will be here for the second half of the episode. That's about it. He'll be here for next episode. Unless something tragic happens, like a meteor falling on the planet Earth and the apocalypse. But if that happens, you'll know about it at the same time as us. So you'll know there won't be an episode. Yeah, I think that's everything. And as always, I forgot to open my resume of the last episode, although it is not a very long one. So let's put you back into the mood of what happened last episode. Once again, the party faced a horrific monster. Shocking. So unique a situation.
They call it the mother-in-law. No.
Well, you know, if you take the original myth of the hydra, could be.
Hera, you cause so many problems for so many people.
So, first described as a monster with flailing appendages, the party realized that the monster was actually, like I said, a hydra. The fight was demanding, to the point of some of our party member not being sure if they would survive. But, as you can see, they prevailed. Or actually, those who went down are here tonight. And one who didn't go down is not here tonight. So they prevailed. It works. But, well, like I said, to be fair, some of them might have a few more nightmares in the future. But everything is well that ends well. After a quick discussion, which turned gruesome rather quickly, the party decided to add a few new bits and pieces of hydra to their dimensional storage, and decided to take a well-deserved short rest. And so now, if everything goes according to plan, they're supposed to finish their trek across the marshlands and find a way to break the enemy line and find safety in the city of Bahanor. And so this is where we are tonight and presently. As everyone sat down, some of the soldiers very disappointed that they're not going to get a... Well, I can't say home-cooked meal because none of you is at home, but...
Last meal.
I don't know what you're talking about. Raimi has a traveling bakery.
Oh yeah, one of them actually did give you money, I believe. But everyone sat down, started to eat, had a bit of a short rest to recover from the stress of facing a hydra. For adventurers, it's not that much, you know. They've seen larger creature. They've seen one gargantuan creature, and a hydra is just a huge creature. It's not that big of a deal. But for soldiers, that was terrifying. And audience, it's probably something that you notice, being used to seeing soldiers or soldier-type people. And probably Fisher also, who looks at you when he sees that the troops might still be a little shaken with what they just saw coming out of a marsh bed, and try to melt half of the troop in a single breath weapon attack.
Well, I'm resting, but after our rest, our 20-minute, 30-minute rest, I'll probably get up, go around the soldiers, try and be like, hey, you know what, we made it through. Not much left until we reach the city. I think the worst of things are behind us. Let's keep the morale up.
Okay. Make persuasion roll.
All right.
Unless the wish.
I'm gonna predict a 15.
Can I have my dog do a help
Oh,
action?
I got a 14.
So you want to send your dog in front of audience and be very, very puppy with wide
he'll
eyes?
Be cute, and they'll pet him. Yeah.
Does that give me
Feel
advantage?
better. Yeah.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Jarg is using his dog to be a comfort dog.
It's still a 14.
Yeah, Frel. All right.
Which is
Well, it's still being a comfort dog,
Well,
whether or not it's helpful.
so since it did not help audience, probably what happened is that you sent your dog inside the troop, and then someone dropped his small tin cup, and then suddenly your dog just got fascinated by it and started playing with it, and you just completely forgot moving through the troops and trying to comfort them, and you just started.
One troop is having fun with them, and the rest
One
are
guy
just
is.
Oh.
So he feels really good, but everyone else
Doesn't even know there's a dog.
knew. So yeah, as I said, you're managing to keep them in line, but a lot of them have this growing fear, especially when you see them nervously looking in the direction where this army is supposed to come from. A lot of them have heard about what these armies are, and you can sense that they have a healthy respect for the horrors that is less than a day behind them right now.
Alright.
While everyone is preparing like this, and soldiers are starting to get up and pack everything back in, Remy, you get visited by Kalina, arrives next to you and talks to you very, very gently and in a very whispering voice. She just bends slightly because she's a few inches taller than you. And so, does he know? And she looks at audience when she says this. Oh, come on, you didn't think I didn't notice how you reacted when he hugged the machine.
Raimi just blinks, but
Oh, don't be
I guess-
nervous about this. You're not talking to a simple commoner. A lot of the normal people, they tend to follow the instruction of the god they pray to, and especially in small communities, their concern is usually about not missing food and making sure they don't die from a disease. So they have a very limited perspective on what gods will allow. But adventurers and people of the higher class, we all know there are gods for anything. A lot of them really don't mind this at all. And she looks a bit disturbed when she starts saying the next phrase, as if you can read in her face that there's something about something she'd like to unsee, but can't. Some of them can be special. But yes, I mean, don't worry about it. You can freely talk about this with me.
Yeah, just like lingers on the talk part for a moment, but I guess like
She noticed after a moment, what? You know what I mean.
But I guess he kind of repeats in her same hushed tone. Does he know? And then Raimi nods.
Ah. Is it a god thing or a personal thing?
He holds up 2 talons.
Ah, well. Don't worry. There'll be others.
The man is single and available. Good job, Remy.
You probably just haven't visited the right kind of circles. My father took me on so many diplomatic missions when I was still just a child, and he always said it was important to understand everyone, because if they don't feel understood around a negotiation table, even if what you're proposing to them is more than fair, they're likely not going to accept it. So you just have to find the right people.
Raimi just kind of like looks down for a bit, sighs, looks back up to her face, and nods.
Hey, you never know. You might find yourself in a special shard gravitating our world where everything happened a little bit differently. And you might find an audience there who is actually very interested into you. Or you'll just find someone else along your way. You never know.
So Raimi's mind just like goes back to the other, like pretty men that he's found. Which not as not many, but then the silver-tongued bard shows up in the brain from us, just like, oh yeah.
And there's probably the description of the dragonborn who is going to greet you when you enter the castle.
And yes, he does remember. It's like suddenly like the story's just like, wait, the dragonborn that's supposed to be shiny.
Radiant, shiny.
Now suddenly it's like I want you to imagine this like a stream of consciousness kind of thing, which is like suddenly like Raimi just really perks up at the end there.
She looks at you and see, your mind has already found someone. I hope it works with that person.
Yeah, so Raimi's just like putting his things like like organizing his things a bit, just like there's now just like well, he's not whistling, but he definitely is mimicking somebody who whistled a long time ago. But whistling a merry tune. So
Well, in the future.
All right. So after this pep talk that started weird but ended, well, okay. She makes her way back to the center of this expedition, surrounded by her guards. Guards feeling a bit weary about all this, but still not to the point of deserting. But the party...
Where would they go?
Yeah. So, I'd imagine that Remy is again going to find himself at the front.
I mean, Jorg is more than welcome to join him, as it
Oh yeah, no,
worked
I
out
believe
fantastically last time.
I believe last time it was Remy at perception and Jorg on survival, to making sure no
Try
one
again.
drowns while crossing.
Yeah.
But I think he failed.
Assuming
last
he
time.
still wants to do that.
Yeah, he'll try. He's feeling reinvigorated after a short rest and a big fight.
Oh yeah, and that's right, Tobiyashi. As you're getting up from this, you look at one of your right leg, and you notice there's a small rash. You sort of realize, oh man, my leg was submerged in water almost all day. It might have covered this, but you might have stepped into some poisonous ivy at one point.
I just go up, itch it, kind of look around. 5 minutes later, itch it.
So don't itch it. It makes it itch more.
You sort of notice it now because you've just spent nearly an hour outside of water, and so your leg is completely dry. But, poison ivy can get through even water. It's just so resilient.
Frel is gonna help Jorg with the survival this time. Frel's his dog, by the way.
Okay.
This time you got a 21.
Nice.
Yep. Using that dog.
Put that nose to work.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotta train that puppy eventually.
Yeah.
All right. So, and for Remy, perception?
Like, I'm really off my game this time. I only got a 16.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're going to have to do it.
Uh-oh.
So, the party starts moving again. And, well... I mean, you don't see a lot of things that are very fascinating. You do keep hearing that annoying duck in the distance that keeps laughing whenever I stop talking. But, yeah.
Just like very, very hesitantly, just like holding up the good boy, just like keeping an eye out, just like, where are you, motherfucker?
There it is!
Throws the dagger, hits nothing,
Damn.
whistles the dagger back, resumes position.
Keeps on going. Nah, he's not there right now. But throughout most of the... there's a frog! There's a frog! But throughout the rest of the day, things are going pretty smoothly, at least according to your perception. Toward the end of the day, however, you don't see anything, but you get a sense of something's keeping its distance because there's just too many of you walking together. But if it weren't for that, you can swear there's something stalking you. And it takes a good maybe 3 hours before you get this feeling.
Alright.
Just constantly
well-
looking at Jorg.
I guess I will roll a perception roll and fail it because I'm audience. But
I'll make a percent. I'll also look if I feel this feeling.
Fisher will also make a perception roll.
Well,
I guess Jorg will make a perception roll.
Remy needs to say something if you want to do this.
Okay.
Oh, Remy, do you say anything? It doesn't matter. I got a 2. Just forget me. It just doesn't matter.
Audience doesn't even notice that you're there, which hurts more.
It's like I'm actually trying to remember the precise wording that I used. Or I guess like the impression that I'm getting that we're is it similar to like how it was before, like in the waters, or is it more that feeling more general?
No, you get a sense of something a bit more general and something that is hesitant because of the numbers that accompanies all of you.
Okay, yeah, okay. In which case,
Sort of like, and probably this is a strange analogy, but sort of like a cat that sees a crow and realizes that there's 12 of them around him and knows he could get torn to pieces if he tries to attack it.
no, it's like like I guess like Rainy will just kind of like communicate to the others, I guess, in this way. The lion hesitates around the elephants.
I think you get a puzzled look from Fisher.
Jorg too.
I feel like Jork would like at least like naturally be able to make this
Yeah.
roll.
I guess the lion hesitates around the elephant. Yeah, actually,
Elephants.
elephants plural. Yeah, he'd I think make sense of that.
Jorg, by the way, your role is outstanding. It feels like you just intuitively know where people shouldn't stand. It's amazing.
Nice.
You had so much difficulty during the beginning of the day, but that last part of the day, I don't know if it's because the light is slowly fading and you see better in that, but man, you are proud of yourself.
Nice. Feeling good. I've dried off finally from the first time I tried to do a survival check. All right. In that case, Jorg will do a perception roll.
All right. And do you say anything to anyone so that they realize that Remy
Oh
is...
yeah. I'll let them know. I'll say he means there's so basically lions and other hunting animals will hesitate if there's sufficient opposition. So there's something out there that is not wanting to come after us because there's too many. So keep your eyes out.
I guess Fisher will roll a perception as well once Jorg says that.
I got a 19.
+5, Fisher. Roll d20.
I got a nat 1 the first time I rolled, so I'm looking for a lion somewhere.
Alright, Fisher got a 15. I don't know if Terranad's with him. But
Yeah.
on what?
Yeah, he is. I believe it's +3 that he has right now.
Ooh.
Alright, so Terranad got an 18. Fisher got a 15.
All right. Well, audience, you're about as perceptive as Tobiashi, and for a moment, you surprise yourself looking for a lion, but Fisher suddenly says, I think you're looking for something a bit smaller than that. He said, oh yeah, that's right. He speaks metaphorically.
Well, I still see nothing, so that's what else.
Fisher does warn you about also seeing some movement whenever you get into taller grass or something like that. It's probably something small. So, probably something that is afraid because they don't want to be killed by such a large group. But Jorg, what was your perception roll?
19.
19? And Jorg, with your knowledge of nature, you can probably add to this that, well, you have to keep in mind that a lot of predators will attack anyone that gets isolated.
Stragglers. So, that either means bait or everyone keeps into group, and I vote the second option.
Either that or we start getting out our Pokeballs because there's something hiding in the tall grass.
Yeah.
And you just yell, I
Well-
choose you!
Yeah, I got all my Pokemon ready. No, wait, I'm out of 3rd level spell slots.
Oh.
I can't summon any Pokemon.
So you take your tiny blob and you open you uncork the bottle and you throw it and scream, I choose you!
Yeah, hey, that's a good idea. We could find out what happens if we let it out.
Jokes from another shard with a brand new world to see.
Alright.
We keep walking.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as we stay in a group, we should be safe. So I guess just call out to the soldiers, let them know. Let's just make sure to stay together. Don't let anyone straggle behind. Make sure to stay grouped.
Alright, soldiers, it's time to stay packed like a pack of penguins.
A pack of pickled pep.
A lot of them just look at you. And, well, that's right. Lip reading, so you can see them just talk to one another. Like, penguin. But they sort of understand the first part. Huddle up. So they all group up, make sure that no one is left out, which is fine because now there's 44 of them since one of them got eviscerated the first day. So they're an even number. It matches.
Yeah, damn tragedy. Nothing we could have done.
There's an even number, so everyone pairs up and nothing attacks. Keep on going for most of the day, and there is this moment where you start moving out of the marsh. The water seems to be drying up, and making a mistake no longer sends you knee deep into water. It's just a very uncomfortable ankle deep sinking into mud. But as the level of the um, where you're walking rises a bit. You also have a very troubling moment where you can see further, and instinctively a lot of soldiers look behind, and to their great horror they can see that the army is just a few hours behind them. They just entered the marsh. If it were flat ground, they'd be on them in the matters of 2 or 3 hours at most. But, audience, you know, for having spent so much time traveling, an army this size, carrying siege weapon, is going to be extremely slowed down by having to traverse a marsh.
And go across the bridge.
Ooh, let's burn the bridge.
We're not going back to the bridge.
The bridge made of stone.
Let's blow it
Yeah.
up!
Cut the ropes.
Cut the ropes of the stone bridge.
But you can...
How far are we from
the
the city at this point?
Roughly half a day. The day is
Fair
nearly over. In this story, this is where you decide to take a break. But you are several hours in front of what the story is saying. You still have 2 or 3 hours of light until you have to choose between walking in the middle of the night or taking one last rest before the morning.
I'll say, all right, guys, let's push the pace for the next 3 hours, gain some ground, double time for the next 3 hours, and then we should have, though they'll be slowed down a lot by the marsh, we should have a chance to take a break after that.
Okay, make a persuasion.
Let's use the rest of our light.
Make a persuasion roll. You're trying to keep the morale up.
Persuasion is right there. Not
Dog
great.
will do the help action again.
Well, maybe better.
I'll send him out to
Can I do the help
get
action?
pet.
No, someone can only get
It,
one
it
help.
was thank you, dog. The dog gave me a 19 instead of a 7.
Nice. This time the dog's running around and they're getting pet.
Dog was very helpful that time.
This time he can identify those who are the most nervous and just goes in front of them and help them pass out their stress. Because, oddly enough, humans seems to find it very reassuring when a dog is near them. Who knew? Well, I mean, 20,000 years of evolution, but don't tell that to those who don't know it. Actually, a bit more than that, but the first breed, if I remember my research correctly, the first breed of dog appears 15,000 years ago. The first genetic change to a canine that will become dogs happens 40,000 years ago, if I remember correctly. So, who knew we evolved to like dogs? I mean, who knew?
Alongside him.
Yeah, they're our only friends. At least the only one who wanted us to be friends with them. We forced all the rest to be friends.
Either our most loyal friends or our most loyal bitches.
Depending on your point of view. So, you manage to completely reassure part of the guards. You see that maybe a third of them sort of react and to what you're saying. They look behind, look at the marsh, and you see them nodding slightly. Yeah, we were slowed down. They're going to be slowed down also, and they're not going to be able to get all of those war machines right on the city. They're going to have to rely on natural abilities, so the city won't have to raise all of its protection. We still have a chance. For a lot of them, however, they look at this and you see fear in their eyes. They're not doubting your abilities to take them to the city, but you see that it's working in their mind. They are going to keep walking, but some of them, you notice, they are slowly losing faith that they are going to still be alive in 2 days.
Fair enough. Well, as long as they're marching double time, I'm fine with it.
Anyway, they are going to be dead, so they saw right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, they're not wrong, so.
No, we gotta keep every single one alive now.
With the Captain Kirk, I've never lost a crewman. I gotta keep everyone alive. Can't lose anyone.
He says when 1 episode out of 2 someone dies.
Hey, we've done a very good job. No soldiers have pretty much died so far.
Yeah, no, there's just one that got eviscerated.
Yeah, and only 1 casualty so far. It's not been bad.
No, it definitely wasn't.
And it wasn't even the enemy.
Nope. It was my own party member. Enemy from within, some would say.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember that at all.
I'm still waiting to figure out which number on my list of top 10 anime betrayals I'm going to put it on. Still hovering.
For a brief moment, you see Jorg, audience, and Remy, even Fisher, look in the direction of Tobiyashi and then keep walking.
We're slow
I'm just
jogging
itching my
now.
leg.
Double time's like a slow jog, I think.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Slow jog.
So you increase your pace, and little by little, you completely get out of this marshland. The ground raises a bit. It feels like you're on a gentle slope back on the top of the plateau that is on the other side of the valley. This time, you don't have to walk a very steep stairs to get there, or go through a cavern filled with special dangers to get to the top. It's a slower climb because it was a very steep fall on the cliffs. But little by little, you make your way up, and eventually you do find yourself entering a very light forest, something between a forest and an underwood. So you can easily see everywhere. But it's not difficult to walk in it also. But this is when you find yourself staring at the last few rays of sun. And so you are forced to choose between walking throughout the night and having exhausted shoulders in the morning, or relying on what the story said, that the army is significantly slowed down enough for you to take one last long rest before finding yourself in front of the city.
Story hasn't let us down so far, and I have faith in it. So I'm going to believe in the story.
Why care if I'm exhausted?
I'm going to trust in the story. We also have Fisher, who can basically sentry rest while awake. So if we start to see any movement, we can start double timing out of there.
Let's make
Start
Fisher
running.
sleep, and then he'll succeed on his role while he's not here, and then
on
we'll
his
get
save.
there.
One of us will save for him. No, Fisher doesn't get to sleep. You need a guard tonight.
No, yeah.
So, you warn everyone, and everyone that once again looks at Jorg and Tobiyashi to know if they're gonna get a meal.
Hey, you want to cook? Yeah, let's cook them.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
No
Hey,
fire. No
you know-
fires, guys.
I'll do
No
the help
fires.
action this time if you
We're
want.
not gonna use fires. We don't need fire.
Yeah,
No
fire's
fires.
overrated. We'll use hand friction.
But can we use your pots and pans?
We're gonna rub a
Hey,
piece of
Draken.
meat all day long.
Yeah, you can use my pots and pans, just no fires.
All right.
You had a question?
So, just in case this goes bad, could Raimi actually do his own cooking, basically just mimicking other survival-based cooking techniques that he learned?
Well, of course, there's always a way to do a meal. The main problem is that you have very limited ingredient, and none of them actually matches what you've been used to. Because even poachers, they'll hunt a hare or some type of bird and cook it on the fire. All you have is dried meat, dried fruit, dried bread, and if you're very daring, deep frozen meat inside of audience's storage space.
Like, Raimi just doesn't want these soldiers to all have the runs the next day when it's really important that they don't have the runs.
Yeah. Also, without fire, there's not much we can do.
You don't have anything that can produce fire, like that, like heat.
Well, we don't want to give them a smoke signal. I think is the.
Well, I mean, don't you have like the alchemist kit? Shouldn't that have like a heat source that's not a flame, or does it need fire?
I don't know. Would it have a heat source, or is it like a?
Do we have
I
a
assume
hot
it's like a
plate?
candle.
Do we have a hot plate we could cook on?
There is a small source of heat. It's not made to accommodate a cauldron size dish that you're going to cook all of this in.
I was gonna say, if I see George start breaking out an alchemist kit, I'm not giving them my pots. My pots would have to be placed on an alchemist kit.
Hey, dinner is completely screwed up, but your pot is made of gold now.
Yeah. If you drink out of it, you'll live forever.
Unless it's made out of lead.
I'm not letting my
about-
pots near an alchemist
How
kit.
about we
with
just
these.
ask the soldiers for like their rations and stuff, and we can make a what are they called? A charcuterie board with all the
Oh
rations.
yeah.
You could just make it look
Just
nice,
do-
right? Just make it look nice and fancy.
Actually, you know what? Raimi's just going to
Go
present
for
his
that.
own viable alternative, and he's just going to set up shop.
You take your board again, you put it on a broken branch on a tree and sit under it.
All right. I guess
Just
we're not doing
waiting to see how this turns out.
So,
this. Are we gonna do this? We're making a charcuterie board. Is that what we're doing?
I guess that's
All right.
all
What
we've
do
really
we roll
got.
for it? What do we roll
oh
for it?
goodness. I'll go with intelligence, and since none of you are proficient in cooking, well, at least not Jorg and Tobiyashi.
So an
Nor are we
intelligence.
It's just
particularly
intelligence
intelligent.
roll.
All right. Do you want advantage, or do you want us both to roll? Jordan.
What's your intelligence?
+1.
I'll give you advantage.
Okay. All right. I remember when they used to make these.
You know what? Suddenly this both makes sense. It also doesn't make sense.
Oh, 19.
Ooh.
To make a fancy charcuterie board.
You even
I get some salt from from the dimensional space. We put a little bit of salt on there.
Oh yeah. It's just what we usually eat, but with a little salt.
Put a little salt and just
a
nicely
little love.
placed.
But it already has salt. What do you think
yeah.
deserves those rations?
We're fine.
Yeah.
Everyone loves salt. You just add some and it covers any bad taste. Especially
Yeah,
that
yeah.
little mold that's growing on it. You just put salt on it and it goes fine. One thing that Tobiyashi, you notice as you're asking audience to open the dimensional space and go into your pantry, it only takes maybe a minute or so before you feel the onset of frostbite. That's a little bit unusual.
Yeah. I'll grab the salt really quick. It's kind of like the deep freezer at my work. I'll run out and I'll be like, "Whoa, it's a lot warmer out here than it is in there." And then we'll continue making the charcuterie board. Wait, do we get like a piece of? Do you have like a piece of wood? What are we gonna put this on?
Someone tears off a piece of bark.
So, this is a big piece of bark. We bring it to everybody. There you guys go. Have fun. Have a party. I don't know if you guys have wine or something.
And because well, actually, audience can turn water into alcohol, but
Hey, yo!
Nice.
I can pass my mug around.
You want to give them a good drink, right? For their last meal.
You know what? Audience is pretty sure they're all gonna die tomorrow, so you know what? He'll give them a last drink. He's a respectful guy.
Charcuterie board gets
It's like
put
the
around.
story. He was like, he's pretty sure the
drink.
story stated that most of these people are gonna die. So
So how does it turn out?
and Jorg, because you helped so much Tobiyashi and gave him advantage, and it went even better. You just went looking around for a few moments before someone yanked you back into the group, saying, "We're being stalked." But you managed. You managed to find a little bit of time growing.
Hey.
So, that's gonna be good. You managed to take a few strands of this very pleasant plant to add to a meal, and you just decorated every bark plate that Tobiyashi presented in front of everyone.
There you guys go. Enjoy your meal.
Yeah.
And if you guys want dessert, go over to that tree. I point over to Remy with the sign.
All right. So you get Remy. You get. Well, there are a lot of guards which are looking at one another, and you hear some of them saying, "I only have a copper left," and so they seem to all pool themselves together and pool their resources together, and you find yourself with 88 coppers.
Hey, I walk up to audience while this is all going on, while he's handing the mug around. Be like, audience, do you know any like stories or songs that they could get for a little bit of encouragement? You know.
I don't know why.
I'm not gonna be singing since
I just had the "Life's Gonna Suck When You Grow Up" song start playing in my head.
I'm not gonna start singing since we're gonna be stealthy, but you know, I could tell them a few stories. Maybe about some of our adventures.
How about a fake story about them? You know, about
Fake
them.
story
About them surviving.
about them surviving.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, especially you sort of have at this moment this gut feeling that I don't think any of them is going to be alive tomorrow. But then the reality of the dream pushes itself back on you and says, they need hope. It's gonna be fine. We survived so far.
Yeah, audience can tell a few stories. I can tell a few stories about warriors and adventurers who made it through like tough times, came out the other side alive.
Does a few of them include stories of your own party?
You know what? No. These guys are gonna die anyway. They're not gonna be able to bring on the story. There's no point to tell them about me.
All right.
I'll tell them actual stories about some like heroes and stuff that I've been told, that I was told as a child, and like happy stories.
and this
that,
is
like,
where This is where Toby begins his party planning business.
All right.
Yeah.
Audience, make a... Well, it's story time, so
Performance.
performance, yeah.
Yeah.
Although
All right.
Rainy, just in fashion, is going to assist with special effects
Then you have
Alright, well,
advantage.
I will roll
enthusiastically.
That's a 21.
Goodness. All right, well, you start telling stories, and Remy, still being very discreet as not to alert anyone watching from afar, Kalina just also goes sitting next to you, Jorg. Oh, he's good at this. Listen, I've already had a few of his stories.
Ooh.
And audience starts telling stories. And with such a nice performance roll. Let's see. Okay. It feels like you are managing to alleviate a little bit of tension and even give a little bit of hope to some of them, thinking, well, if those stories are true, well, you know, some people manage to survive very difficult situation. Maybe it's going to be the same thing for me. And some of them have this gain of hope and actually do manage to listen and feel content enough and hopeful enough to fall asleep on these very interesting words. Some of them are just very grateful for the distraction. And you see in their eyes a little bit of disappointment when you start saying, well, I'm tired, I need to go to rest, and you start yawning, and they sort of go... and they really don't like it. There's a handful of them who are looking at you in shock, saying, how can we survive a world when there are challenges like this everywhere waiting for you? But it's just a few of them, maybe 4 or 5, no more.
Someone call those the pansies.
But eventually they all just like get into their bags, realizing they only have one shirt left. You know what color it is.
But all in all, you do a very good job of telling stories. Most of the soldiers there are either hopeful or at the very least reassured that there is a possibility of survival in this. And they all go to bed, savoring their last bite of chocolate
Charcuterie
truffle.
board.
Well, most of them ate it, even though some of them complained that it was a little bit bland, but it was pretty. And we eat with our eyes, as they say. It looked better than it tasted, essentially.
Good.
What were you gonna eat instead, huh? It's the same stuff, just not on a platter.
Although, to be fair, some of them should at least somewhat understand the reason why, since some of them did actually get the silver variant last time around.
Yeah, no, some of them actually see that there is a difference. And even at the last moment, when everyone is asleep, Remy, and you're just about to go back to sleep, to go to sleep yourself, your attention is drawn to someone going, "Psst, Birdman, psst." And he looks around, looks if there's other guard up, and he slides 2 gold toward you, very slowly and discreetly.
Do it.
Just
And you are also aware that this is a soldier, not an elite guard. This is most likely an entire week's worth of pay.
Man knows he's dying tomorrow. He wants to go out.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, he must know something the others don't. Yeah, just like as a somewhat of a means to like help keep discreet, just kind of keeps the box open, but kind of like minor illusions, like a small shrub over it, and like
Patch of grass. All right.
but then like like does as intended, requested, and gives him the gold variant.
You see him very discreetly. Oh yeah, wait, an 18. That's very discreet. He very discreetly takes it and cradle it very close to his heart and silently go back to his bed. And you see him just turn around and just...
It's official. Remy's a drug dealer.
Well, it's
No,
it's
that
not
would be
the
if he
platinum.
gave out the platinum version.
If he was a drug dealer, he'd give out one platinum chocolate truffle free.
And then he'd charge a fixed rate for additionals.
Mm-hmm.
You see, his back is turned to you, but his body language, Remy, is very clear. He is comforting himself by really slowly eating it and letting all of the chocolate melt in his mouth until he falls asleep.
So sad.
And Rainey will remember this moment for the rest of his life.
and an audience is reassured that he doesn't have to remember this moment for the rest of his life. The night goes forward, and not a lot happens. Fisher goes into his sentry rest and looks around all night long. Sorry, all night long. And maybe, audience, you can make a perception roll for Fisher.
Yes, I can. It's 20 plus 5.
And party like a weekend.
11 for Fisher, 13 for Terranet.
Okay. As far as you can tell, there's this one guard. You see, there's this one soldier who seems to be acting a little funny. He's curled up in a fetal position with something in his mouth, but other than that, everything seems to go well. But the night seems to go without any problem. He does at one point see a bit of ruffling in the bushes, but feels like it's probably the same thing that just keeps following you. Really wants a meal, but you don't send anyone alone. There's a bit of frustration in the way that the bushes move, but it doesn't go beyond this. Slowly, sun starts to rise. And most likely, audience, you're the first one who sees this. But most likely you're the first one who sees this because you see the sunrise and you're slowly woken up by it. But you realize this is not where you fell asleep. You're standing on a very, very large plateau. Completely barren. Feels a bit similar to where you live. And suddenly you see this darkness that appears from the ground. Feels like it's watching you a little bit. But you also feel this warmth in the sky, and you look up and you see the sun. It also feels it's watching you. And as you're watching this very weird barren plain, it also feels like you're watching something that happened long ago. Or did it happen recently? You feel that the two answers coexist for probably a few more days. But you see, at this point, the darkness on the ground gathers, and you see the light in the sky gather also. And suddenly you see this ball of darkness punch through the ground and going upward, and you see the ball of light coming from the sky fall down, and the two of them meet in the sky. The shock wave of this meeting sends the ground trembling. You have difficulty keeping up, and they just keep going at one another. They separate, and then again, the shock wave is deafening. You feel the wind just burst out whenever they meet, and the shock is violent. They are going at it as if they meant to kill one another. They hit several times until at one point the two of them stops, and it feels like you're supposed to say something at that moment.
I guess, audience, if he has nothing else, because he literally has no idea what to say, I guess he'll say, for the dragon, and try and channel his energy towards the light ball and not the dark ball. Because that's all he knows what to do. Because they're two gods fighting, and he can't do much in that situation. But he'll root for the ball and light. He'll be like, "You got this. Get him."
At this moment, when you say for the dragon, you see it trembling in the ball of darkness, but you see a very small, feels like a grain of sand next to a beach ball. That grain of sand, that grain of light comes from you and goes straight toward the large light. And just before it reaches the light, the darkness turns around and strikes it. But you notice the light disappear. But for a moment, the attention of the darkness turned around toward the light. You see the one that feels like a sun taking advantage of this moment and strike at the darkness, breaking the tie between the two powers and sending the darkness falling down to the ground. When it hits the ground, it feels like someone just dropped a mountain in front of you. You find yourself being thrown to the ground from the wind, the shock wave, the earth shaking, and then you see the darkness just seeping back into the land. But as you watch this, you feel like this is not going to be over. And this is when you actually do wake up with the first rays of light piercing the horizon. You are among all of your friends.
Alright. and now has I've been a high school cheerleader, so you know that's
So
cheerleading works.
Woo!
All right. Well, I'll wake up and basically I'll get up pretty quickly because I know that we have to move quickly if we have any chance. So I'll basically get up and I'll be like, all right, I'll start coming to soldiers. All right, everyone wake up. Let's go. We need to move. The army's probably not that far behind us. Let's go. Let's go.
The moment you say this, you see a lot of the soldiers looking backward and looking in the valley where they can actually see a little bit, and the army is marching inside of the march, but advancing very slowly. For a brief
I
moment,
start helping.
they look forward and they look at the army, and you see some of them go, I think we might actually be able to succeed. They
We could.
barely move forward for a few. We went further than this in a day. They had all night long. There's a chance.
Yep. There's a chance that you guys get off your asses. So let's move.
Randy, for
Start
some
waking
reason, has
people
been
up.
plagued by the image of audience in a cheerleading outfit, and he doesn't know where it came from. But
Usually people don't appear like that in your mind, but this one.
like he literally couldn't have imagined this, meaning it had to come from somewhere.
So everyone gathers up and very quickly put everything in their backpack. Grab something to eat on the fly. Some of them are just licking the piece of bark that they were given the night before, hoping that there's some sort of flavor left on this thing, but most of them just looks very disappointed after this. And after 20-25 minutes, the group is ready to keep on moving forward.
I would like if I'm going to specifically tell this because Kalina and the guards have been walking in the middle, but because I have future knowledge, and though I'm not exactly sure of what future knowledge, I'm going to request that Kalina and the guards walk more at the front of the party along with us today.
Okay.
Because I don't know if like there's a surprise attack from behind or something, but if so, I know who's supposed to live and who's not. And I want those people on near us.
All right, everybody, you heard the man. Keep it moving. Let's go.
Although, okay. So Raimi, in this moment, well, maybe not necessarily in this specific moment, but as like the soldiers are getting ready, Raimi is going to, for once, be the one to pull Kalina aside.
Okay. So you want to say something?
To kind of like does like the so-so motion, and Raimi is going to reach into his bag, and he is going to actually Raimi's going to minor illusion in front of her, like a bag, and then dismiss it, and then question mark and point to her.
You want to know if I'm carrying something?
Raimi's going to minor illusion the bag.
You want to know if I have a bag? If I have something in a bag? I'm pretty sure you're not saying you want me to climb in a bag, so...
Raimi shakes his head. You know what? This probably works better. Raimi is going to, like, very quickly minor illusion a smaller bag, as though it were like a coin purse.
You want to know if I want to buy a truffle?
Shakes his head.
Okay.
Like, he's going to, like, minor illusion an open bag and, like, put his taloned hand inside of it. And maybe even, like, reveal to her that the bag that he has minor illusioned is empty.
The trick is out of the bag.
Shakes his head.
Okay. I remember playing this when I was very young with some of the maids at the castle, but it's been a while.
Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I have anything I give instead before I have to keep playing this game. Okay, nothing in my standard equipment. No, all right. So Raimi is going to minor illusion an empty vial, or then minor illusion an empty jar.
Okay.
Minor illusion just like starts going through a bunch of like empty containers.
Okay. So something.
And then points to her.
Something empty.
Raimi nods.
You want to know if I'm empty?
Shakes his head.
All right. So empty is fine. Is good. You want me to empty my pockets?
Raimi is going to like make the so motion.
You want to know if I have a trick up my sleeve? A magical object, something like that?
Shakes his head.
I want all your money. Give it to me.
This is a bit confusing. Hold on. She turns around and says, "Mr. Audience, can you join me for a moment, please?"
Yes.
Yes, audience, the best person for
Yes. I was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna go well. I'll come over.
The moment you arrive, she puts her arm around your shoulder and says, "You know him a whole lot more than I do. I think he's trying to ask me a question about something that's empty. But as far as I got."
I'll look at Remy. What are you trying to ask, Remy?
Yeah, so like Raimi's just going to point at her again, and he's just going to minor illusion an empty bag, minor illusion an empty jar, minor illusion an empty vial.
I'm gonna roll an intelligence and see how that goes. Not well, probably, but 14. How much do I get for 14?
It depends on how complex Remy's message is.
Like, this message is actually very uncomplicated. So, like, you get the impression that Raimi actually is asking if she has in her possession an empty container.
I think audience would get that with the 14.
Okay.
I think he's asking just, do you have an empty container in your possession?
Not one that is currently empty, but none that I don't mind emptying.
I'll look at Remy. Does that work?
Raimi nods.
Okay. He would like you to empty a non-valuable container. I guess.
She takes a sort of a belt bags, those that are sort of meant to have potions in, but squared, rectangular shape.
Thank you, Jack.
She opens it and she takes 3 small bottles. She looks at you, audience. Here, hold this.
Okay. I'll hold the 3 small bottles.
You recognize one easily as being a potion of healing, but the 2 others you don't know what they are. And she takes a handful of something that looks like a bit of mushy stuff. And yeah, that's sure. And she just throws it away. Empty bag.
All right, so Raimi is going to dip into his pouch and, well, one of his pouches, and take a handful, one of his portions even, and he's going to put it into this bag.
Okay.
Now Raimi is going to look up to her and maybe take a few steps back. He's going to point to her. He's going to make a motion that he has done before as kind of like throwing something onto the ground.
Okay.
And then he's going to minor illusion about 30 feet away, Kalina.
It's your powder of a misty step, I believe. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. She looks at the color
Hold
of
on
it.
to this, Raimi, just in case you're in real deep shit.
She looks at the color of it. Okay. So it's a very short range teleportation type powder.
Raimi nods.
Okay. Since this only took one of the compartment in my bag, can I get... You can keep the red potion. Can I get the 2 others back?
Yes.
She takes the 2 that you don't know what they are, and you find...
Audience will then turn to Remy and hand him the red potion, because Audience is like, I've been sitting on this potion of greater healing in my bag for months. I never use it. I'm gonna hand this to someone else who maybe will use it more than me.
I do believe it's a potion of greater healing. It's the second level. It's normal, and then it's greater, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, well, the one I'm holding?
No,
Or
the one
giving
that
Remy?
she just gave
Okay.
you.
Yes, I already have a potion of,
It's
of
greater.
greater healing.
So
I already have a potion of greater healing, so I will give this one to Remy.
So Remy, you have
Okay.
1 extra potion of greater healing.
You can give it to who you ever want to as well, if you feel like it.
He gives it back to you.
No, I will not take it.
And for some reason, I just want to imagine maybe even to a certain extent, he actually is kind of hinting, he's like, and you can give this to whoever you want. Wink. Just audience knows what he's doing.
Audience always knows what he's doing. He just doesn't always understand what he's doing.
Well, okay, in this specific instance, he also understands what he's doing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Audience fully recognizes that there's a certain hierarchy in this party, and that if certain individuals laid out, bleeding, dying on the ground.
Jorg, I believe you just said something and we didn't hear it. I think you're muted.
I did not say anything.
Okay.
I don't. Am I mute? Okay.
Alright, and then I'll be like, well, we should get moving.
Yes,
With
we
the
have a
guards
few
and
hours.
Kalina at the front.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I've never been in the middle of an adventuring party.
Well, she's been in the middle of a party, but not an adventuring party, as hinted by her personal guard constantly surrounding her.
Well,
she's got that guard.
mostly constantly surrounding her.
Except for the times when it's like, where'd she go?
And Remy, you're probably the one that is best placed to see this, to realize this. She is very, very light-footed.
Oh, he's gotten that impression, all things considered.
Well, now you have visual confirmation. So she goes back to the front of the group with all of you, with the guards really close to all of you.
Can they surround us?
No. I don't want to be
I
surrounded
don't
by
think
them.
the moral support we've been trying to give them.
If you say this out loud, do you say this out loud, Tobiyashi? Can they surround us?
I mean, yeah, I'll say it. I'll say, can they surround? So there could be like an outer circle of them, and then us, and then her in the middle.
I'm
gonna say no.
They make one step closer to her, and all 6 of you look at you in this really interesting way that makes you feel. Sorry, I asked.
I was just saying. Jeez, don't look at me like that. Let's keep going. Hey, George, do you have any medicine for this rash?
Yes, but it's like a healing potion. But I can help out. Like, I'll do a nature check.
Some medicinal herbs.
I got a 16, so I'll like do something like with rub mud on it, like the kids do in summer camp.
Well, with the nature check, you can also confirm that this is actually poisonous ivy.
Oh, cool.
It's really annoying, but it also go away on its own eventually.
Contagious?
It's not contagious, don't worry. You have to touch the plant to get it.
Okay, that's good.
No, Toby, you're infected.
Hey, don't say that out loud.
You say this and you see 20 guards staring at Tobiyashi.
He was talking about that guy.
Uh-oh.
So, and if you're wondering, Tobiyashi, no, I did not just plague you with this. You actually did make a saving throw for this.
Let's go.
A while ago.
Nice.
So, you all gather up and start moving forward. You're slowly moving outside of this underwood, still feeling like something's watching you. Something small, maybe the size of a large cat. Doesn't move like a cat, but it still feels like it's watching all of you with a hungry stare.
What?
But it's not attacking. Everyone is keeping close, and everyone is, at the very least, following the buddy system. And the party starts moving forward. You can see a lot of everything that is in front, but if you want to make a perception roll to see if you can see more, now would be the time to make it.
I'll do it.
I mean, I have no choice, but
Fisher will do it. Audience will attempt to do it.
Natural 20, 22.
Jorg will do it. Just cause, why not?
Alright,
23,
audience.
but not a natural 20.
So, audience got...
An 8, and Fisher got a 12, and whatever his other dude got a 15.
his other dude.
This other little guy, you know.
And Remy got a...
Like a little bit more back in form, 24.
So that's pretty good. We got 3 person out of 5 who gets at least 22. So it's a very perceptive morning, although audience is probably slightly distracted by the fact that, he's realizing that Kalina is actually a pretty woman. This is why he's not realizing too much about where he's walking in. You haven't spent a lot of time very close to her, but she's actually pretty.
She fell asleep on me. What do you mean I haven't spent time close to her?
A lot of time close to her, I said.
Oh, a lot. Okay.
If you remember correctly, the moment she fell asleep, you just looked at the guard saying, I didn't do anything.
See where my hands are? See where my hands are?
My hands.
So, you get distracted, bottom. Fisher is probably a bit nervous because he's getting close to a city that is close to falling at war, and if he gets discovered, well, he most likely is going to be pulled apart into its smallest pieces and studied for who knows how long. So that's why he didn't roll all that high. He's a bit nervous. It's not a bad roll, it's just not an exceptional roll, like Jorg, Tobiashi, and Raimi did. You move forward, and it's actually going pretty well. You are on dry terrain, you're slowly walking down, and everything seems to be going well. You're right, Tobiashi?
Yep.
Okay. That's good.
Seeing beyond the veil right now. My natural 20. I see all these big people. No, I'm trying.
That's where you see all the people hanging above clouds pulling strings. Oh,
Yeah.
why do I have a string? Oh. So keep going forward, and it's a relatively easy day compared to the one that you just had before. But very quickly, you're sort of hit by this realization of everything that's waiting for you. As you're going down and as you're leaving the underwood, you find the valley in front of you being completely cleared. No cloud in the sky, no fog, no howling wind like on Estron.
I was just like wondering, can we stay here? At least it's less windy. I mean, like, there's the aberration war and all that, but, besides that, I mean...
Like a little house right over there.
Yeah. Just at the end of the marsh that you can see. It's perfect. You get the soothing sounds of the toads and all, but none of the
And the
mosquitoes. So you keep going down, and yeah, we don't need to hear the marsh anymore because you're no longer in the marsh.
Nice.
Got tired
the
of being
marsh
laughed
sound.
at by a duck. So
Yeah.
every time I stop talking, the duck laughs. And you see in front of you this large valley, and the first thing you notice is the thing that's very hard to not notice. It's the city of Bahanor. For Audience and Fisher, you've seen bigger. You both saw Kahornathil, one of the 3 largest city in the world. And Kahornathil is divided in 2 pieces, each one of them larger than the city of Bahanor. So this is not something that is overwhelmingly impressive for the 2 of you, but still, this is larger than any city you've seen on the Mistel Island chain. Bigger than Otanel, and most likely bigger than the last city that you haven't visited yet. It's impressive. Even though it's not as impressive as someone. It's still very large, very impressive. You can easily estimate that there is, at the very least, 10,000 people living in there. for Jorg and Tobiashi, this is probably one of the largest cities you have ever seen. With easily recognizable districts, since you're slightly elevated, you can see a little bit above the walls. With visible district, a very large wall. It looks thick. There are crystals floating on top of the main towers. You see this large moat in front of it, and a double drawbridge that is currently down in front of it. It's awe-inspiring to see this big of a fortification, and also know that there are so many people inside and so many resources also. You can easily identify that is probably 95% sure a mage tower. And there's a secondary one and a tertiary one. But then the rest of what you're seeing hits you. There are easily a dozen camp in front of the city. There usually are people living outside of the city, and from where you can see the smoke coming out of these small abandoned villages. They have been destroyed. Hopefully they were able to take shelter in the city, but you don't know. There are no signs of what happened to them, but there are all these camps in front of them. You can't identify what type of creature are in there, but they're large, they're organized, with small fortification, nothing made of stone. Most of them looks like wood, placed to make sure that no one can charge at them from the castle. And you see a whole lot of craters in front of these positions. You get the feeling that they are positioned right outside the ranges of the defenses of the castle. This is what you have to find a way to get through, because they circle the castle.
I can't watch right now.
No, you don't have to watch it. You just have to listen.
I can't listen to it. You gotta turn that on.
They encircle the castle, and right now, the way they're placed, you can't find a way to just squeeze between two of them without being seen. They removed all of the trees. Some of the land has been flattened to make sure that they have a good visibility. The last place where you see you can hide is nearly a mile away from the drawbridge, which is where Kalina said you need to reach. The only way to get in is to find a way to push them out of order. Draw them somewhere else.
Time to sacrifice our troops, guys.
I guess so.
The dream doesn't lie. They said we weren't all making it.
Ooh.
Alright, well,
Well,
luckily...
maybe they just don't make it into the city. Maybe they can make it away from the city and just
Yeah,
draw
into
them
the
away.
oncoming 10,000 army of Eldritch Swords.
Well, if they get on the other side of the city and just keep going,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's be hopeful.
We don't know if there's anyone coming from that direction.
Yeah, we'll be hopeful for them, I guess.
Hey, we actually have someone talking in the chat.
Hey.
Alright.
Civilization.
Do we want to keep going? Do we want to take our break now and try and figure out something?
That's what I was going to propose.
We should probably take our break, yeah.
Yeah, we should discuss
Yeah.
this.
All right.
Meeting has adjourned.
So, we are also going to take our own break right now and be back in 15 minutes. and try to see if the party can actually figure a way out of this without getting themselves killed. But, soldiers, it's fine.
Yeah. They knew what they're signing up for.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go with some rain while we're waiting. There we go. Nice rain. It's always very soothing. For most people, anyway. Alright, see you back in 15 minutes. Bye. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a pleasant break, and I hope that you took the time to follow us or subscribe. I have to say this at least once every so often when there's actually people listening. So, as you can see, there's a battle map. It's not an actual battle map. It's something that's very improvised because audience wanted to be able to draw a map of the surrounding area on the ground. So, audience, this is your drawing.
Alright.
And you're roughly a little bit further down. I forgot to place an NPC token for you. You're probably somewhere around here, maybe a few squares down.
Okay. So, I guess I'll first call for all the guards and Kalina and everyone to gather around into what our plan's gonna be. I'll be like, alright guys, gather around. Here's how we're gonna do this.
They all gather around, they all look at you
Alright.
expectantly.
Alright, so I'll turn to soldiers. I guess they wouldn't know that I just. I'll ask them, how many of you are trained in basic skirmisher tactics? Even though I know the answer to this, I have to make it seem like I don't.
They all look at each other slightly confused, but you get a good 10 of them that I've had experience leading group like this. I've been a part of a skirmisher group. Another one raises his hand saying that he's led a group like this.
Alright. I'll be like, the goal is to get, I'll point to Kalina, past the enemy lines in range of the city defenses. I believe once we are within the range of the city defenses, the army will no longer follow us, as it will not be worth it to them for such a small group to risk losses of their own. So, my plan is to split you guys up in 22 and 22 with 5 each. I'll point to the 2, 5 each within each group leading the skirmisher groups who have no skirmisher tactics. The goal will be for...
I just added 2 NPC token on the map, so they're representing the 2 groups.
Alright, the goal for each of 22 to you will be, one will be to draw the army, will be to draw one half of the group blocking the front out to the left, using your bows and basically picking off members until they're forced to come after you. Same with the group on the right. Your goal will be kind of to draw the enemy out towards the right and left, creating a gap in the middle. At which time, I point to the guards and Kalina, our good friend Jorg can make us some draft horses. Does the draft horses also require concentration or no?
Yeah.
Okay, no. So, alright. So then, first, alright. So Jorg will first cast a stealth spell on the members of party. We will try, once the groups have split, to sneak up as far as possible. Once we get, I'd say, within 100, 150 feet, once it's going to be fairly hard, even with a good stealth roll, to sneak through the gap that's created, Jorg will drop the spell, draft horses. 3 of us will have to pair up. I'll point to me and Rebby, Toby and Jorg, and Kalina can jump on the back with one of the guards, in which case we'll use our horses' extra speed to burst through the gap and go to the and get past the army. At which time, we'll turn to the 2 groups of soldiers. Your group will be to
regroup with each other, create a spearhead formation, and try and break through the closing gap, as well as reaching the drawbridge behind us once we've crossed.
What is
into
Fisher
the-
going to do, though?
Fisher, gets just a horse to himself because he's bigger. Because we're doubling up a guard
I
and
can still
Kalina.
be a horse.
Yeah, but I mean, if you want to be a horse, it just allows us one less person to. But the people who are doubling, Kalina's light, Remy's light, and you and Toby both don't wear armor, so you should both be fine to ride on a draft horse.
Yeah.
I picked some of the lighter versions.
You get one of the guard who says, why do we put the machine on a horse? Why not just send him alone? I mean, he was able to nearly destroy that creature that we have. He can probably at least pull one group out of position before he gets destroyed.
Because I want our strongest fighters protecting Kalina, and also I don't have infinite range on Fisher, so even if I gave him an order, there's no guarantee he'd be able to do as successfully as what you men might be able to do of draw it out, in which case, do you really want to put the hands of our plans in that of a machine? I mean, you know how faulty they can be. We don't want to necessarily have it fail us at a crucial moment. I trust you soldiers, to do your job far more.
I really hope
Oh,
you explain
God.
this to Andre when he's...
Oh, gosh.
Well, they're gonna believe it. It's the right call.
I know. You get got a lot of the guards looking at you and looking at Fisher, and eventually Kalina just says, well, believe in what he says. So far hasn't steered us wrong, and everything works well. And like he said, what would you prefer? That the enemy be bothered by a single machine that might get destroyed with a single blow, or have one more guard on me, ready to sacrifice himself to make sure that we all get in? She, oddly enough, audience, turns to you when she says this and looks at Fisher and gives him a wink.
Do I notice that or not notice that?
You notice.
Oh,
She
okay,
made sure
well,
that you saw, because she
I will
looked at you
file-
and she looked at Fisher, making sure that she drew your attention when she was looking at you.
Alright, well, I'll file information that Kalina knows about Fisher. And now I'm just gonna hope that the guards agree to my plan.
The moment she says this, some of them very reluctantly simply do not argue. But they agree.
Alright. I will then go to the 10 who said they knew skirmisher tactics. I'll talk to each of them briefly, kind of get out a sense of which maybe couple seem to know the most, and I'll basically put those two in command with the other 3 or 4 who said they had secondary commanders in the two groups.
You see that they're very nervous. They some of them wonder how this can even work. But your words mixed with her words, mixed with your very successful persuasion roll that I didn't hear what you rolled.
I was like, you haven't asked me yet.
I know. Sorry.
It's
Do I
time
get
for
advantage? Do I get advantage because of what Kalina says? Or
Yes,
no?
yes, I'll give you advantage.
Okay. That's... Well, yeah, the advantage gave me a 21. So yes, very successful. Very successful persuasion roll.
They look around and all right. Some of them say we'll do our best. Some of them look very resolute, And you get a handful of them just looking at you, not those who actually know skirmisher tactics, but a handful of them are looking at you, audience, saying, "All right, we'll do our best, and we'll remember what you said the other day." And
Yeah.
you sort of realize, oh yeah, those who actually listened to what I was saying about surviving this war.
Hopefully it'll come in helpful for them.
It's time for the 300 speech. Well, 45 speech. 44.
This is where we draw a line in the sand. No, oh wait, we're trying to break through the line. This is where we cross the line in the sand.
This is where they drew a line in the sand, and
we are crossing that line. Or not you guys, but us 8 crossing that line.
For most of your life.
Yeah.
Think about your
Alright.
children.
Well, I guess we're gonna hang back and hope these soldiers can do their job of splitting the army.
All right.
And then we're gonna get ready to sneak.
Who has opera glasses?
Hey, Joke. Before that happens, do you want to do your spirit thing so that they have it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, let's do the
I will
spirit.
do that now. Jorg is going to summon a bear spirit and pump up everyone in the group. I'll have everyone huddle up too, so we get it too. With
Like
the,
11? That's a
But we don't have to huddle up too
yeah,
much because
it's 11. 11. Yeah, not as much.
11, 10.
So do
Okay,
we all
so
get it?
how much?
You all get it, and you feel the extra little surge of strength.
All right. How much
As
temporary
long
hit
as you're
points did that give?
11.
All right.
Wait, actually, I just realized. Alright, I don't have I mean, I could try casting my Fine Steed. I haven't tried it. It would be interesting. I could technically summon myself about also. We need me to. But
It's entirely up to you.
Save it for if you have to grab Kalina and get out of there.
I mean, I
What
don't
if the
think I
horse
should
gets
save
murdered?
it. It's a casting time of 10 minutes.
yeah, it's like you either cast it beforehand or you don't.
All right,
I'm
everyone,
standing there,
stop.
Everybody just pause.
Chill.
I need my cat. That might or might not come, because I don't actually know where we are. I don't know if it's going to come into a dream world. Although, actually, you know what? To be fair, the creatures Jorg summons are also fake creatures, and I saw them appear, so I actually have a better sense that it might appear.
At least something will appear. You don't know if it's actually Magna that's going to appear, but something has a good chance of appearing.
Magna's great. Like,
I want to see it.
or something.
You could just have it ride with us.
You know what? The cat's fast.
More protection.
Once we're in the city, I'm not going to need these slots, so I will cast it. I will get my cat.
All right.
I
So,
will see if my cat appears.
while everyone is preparing, you start casting Fine Steed.
Mhm.
When you finish the casting, there's definitely an odd aura to this magical thing, but as you finish casting it, and you see this dimensional rip appearing and a mount coming out, a cat, not exactly the same color as Magna, a bit darker in colors. You find the voice to be slightly familiar in the way that, okay, no, it's not Magna, but it's definitely the same breed. And you just hear it in your mind go, who summoned me? Why was I summoned? Why do you know our ancestral name?
I'll basically talk, not out loud, but I'll talk back in its mind. I'll talk. I am Audience Autumn Draconis. I believe that I am basically from the future, and I think I may have your. I think one of your ancestors may be my steed in the future, and I guess that it worked to summon you as the ancestor of the cat.
Now tell me.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Now tell me, it's not something you always wanted to say. We come from the future.
I come from the future.
The mount looks at you, slightly confused, and just says, "I've heard stranger. I guess if you know our names, some of what you said is true."
Alright.
Very well.
What's your name, by the way?
I did not prepare for that.
I need it so I can tell Magna I chilled with his ancestors.
Okay.
I could be like, yo, do you know your great-great-great-granddaddy? Yeah, I vibed with him. The facts.
Most simply call me Tarragam.
Alright, Terragan. Let's go on notes. Cat from the past. Terragan.
An audience will call them Terry for short. It's like, I don't know anybody named Terry.
Well, now...
Everyone is very impressed.
Alright, well, now everyone should basically be able to have their own mount. So-
Alright. As you finish this, Kalina just approaches you and just says, "That was very impressive. Can you do that a lot?"
Nope, I am not a druid like Jorg. I can only,
Oh.
it's more of a partner than summoning like multiple steeds like he can. I can only summon one of them.
Well, at the very least, it's going to make sure that you're very special. And she half turns while she's saying this. Very special machines makes it back to the city.
Yeah.
She's nearly completely turned when she just looks back and says, "You really should teach it how to hide its emotions better." You look at Fisher. You have this moment of looking at Fisher's emotions?
What emotions? Alright. I will also... let's see, my cat's also a lot larger than a horse, so I still think one person has to double up. So if one person wants to double up on my cat, that's also faster than a horse. They are welcome to.
Like, why is there suddenly a dust cloud where Raimi used to be?
He's trying to climb on this new mount.
I will take Raimi with me, I guess. Alright, Raimi, I'll sit in front. You just have to hold on to me, okay?
As you climb as you climb up and position yourself on audience's mount, you do have a moment of where you take a peek at Kalina and she just looks at you and smiles. And she goes to where she is supposed to be. On one of the horses that George summoned.
Well, we haven't summoned the horses yet.
Okay.
'Cause we still have to
We're
sneak
gonna
up.
sneak up
Sure.
first.
We have to use the step.
Okay.
Or not the step. We have to use the
The step of the wood is stuck in your head.
it is. We're not using the step.
Audience,
I mean, Toby.
woman makes you lose all of your means.
Yeah. Alright. Well, actually, what we're waiting right now is for the guards to go do their jobs. We
Okay.
kind of have to wait for them to split the army.
So, inspired by a good speech, And Kalina's word. Some of them even inspired by having privileged tactical information about how to survive.
And one of them was still riding the high off of that golden truffle from last night.
How much money have you made off of them?
I actually have made like a separate log just in case.
Oh, just in case it
When
doesn't.
all disappears, yeah.
So like, but just for everybody's reference, I have accumulated in dream / old money. But shit, where is it? Oh, it's a bit lower. 2 aged gold, 29 aged silver, and 65 aged copper.
It's not a bad payday for such a small object.
How much did that cost you?
I think this particular item.
I'm pretty sure none of them
I think it
were.
was-
Only a few of them were above 50 gold, so I think it's in the range of between 10 and 25 gold.
So like it'll work its way into dividends.
It'll work its way.
All right, so do the guard also have pass without a trace?
The ones around Kalina, I think, but not the ones
Not
going
the soldiers. Okay,
in. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
soldiers-
it's just
soldiers-
us and Kalina.
We don't want the soldiers to be stealthy. The soldiers
No, they're
need to be
going
seen.
splitting off, and
We need to go lure the army away. So we can.
Yeah.
But it's like I think at the very least he's trying to like roll to see if like they can surprise them.
well, yeah,
As
they
they're
have
doing
to get there, manage to force them out of position, and get away, hit and run.
Yeah,
All right, so
that's why I told them to use bows. I hope their commanders are good. I hope they know what they're talking about. My best to put.
So, you impatiently watch as the two groups of guard separate from where you are, placing themselves in a more advantageous position. Well, you're slightly outside of the map, so we're going to remove you from that. Looking a bit like this before everything starts. So far, none of the enemy seems to be reacting. Takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes before they reach these positions, and slowly they start creeping up and trying not to be noticed. Some of them even tried to make a makeshift camouflage with whatever they could find. Some simply dirtying their clothes with a lot of dirt. Some actually they haven't washed in a while, so some actually just making sure that the dirtiest part of their clothes is what can be seen. But they do manage to creep up and not being seen. Okay. Then, as one of the group arrives, the one that is the furthest to the left, doesn't manage to get all the way there. However, the group that is on the center does notice them and starts waiting for their arrival. But no one notices the group to the right, slowly making their way. The group to the center alerts the two groups on each of its sides that someone may be coming. And so the two groups to the left prepare for those that has been seen, but the group furthest to the right doesn't notice what's happening, and they're caught by surprise when a volley of arrow is unleashed on them, surprising them to adopt a more defensive position. The two others, however, decide to move forward and try and attack the group to the left, trying to survive this. No hole has been made so far. How are they evading this? Relatively well. From where you are, you can notice that the left group has starting to take some losses, but they're not critical losses. Just a few of them charging toward the group and managing to get to those that are the slowest. You do see a few things that are slightly concerning. No volley of arrows, but beams of energy being fired from these positions. The group to the right has managed to attack and leave and force the group out of position. They're managing to keep the distance and not get caught by those. Now you have your first glimmer of opportunity there. Do you want to try to let them try to push these positions even further away, or do you want to try your luck now?
You're muted. You're muted.
Audience, we can't hear you.
Sorry. I think we could probably start sneaking now, because we're still far enough away that we still have some distance to cover. Sneaking is going to be slower anyway, but like not fully commit. Like there'll be a little more time, but we can start sneaking out, so we'll be closer once there is a larger gap. So we're not going to have to use that time to be sneaking as far. So I think we can start sneaking forward. So I'll motion for all of us. I'll motion for Jorg to cast the spell, and we can start sneaking.
Alright, I'll cast it. And sneak.
Alright,
We
so
all
I
roll
guess
stealth.
we should all roll stealth.
Yes.
Plus 5 or 10?
10.
Plus 10. Because I'm on Magna, I'm actually getting plus 15.
Yeah, Jorg got a non-natural 20.
I got a 19.
Let's see.
Okay, 20, 19.
So, plus 15. Magna and audience got a 19 as well.
19, alright. So all of the horse... no, you're not... You're still
don't
on
have
foot.
horses.
Alright, you're still on foot.
Yeah.
Alright. So the guards... Okay. Remy, I didn't hear what you rolled.
I mean, I did roll, but then I remembered, wait, I'm on Magna.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So you just get the 19.
I mean, unless I'm just trying to make myself, especially
I mean, you can
not
hide
seen.
yourself on Magna if you want. You can hunker down.
Well, if we're going with that, then I am, then I'm sitting, because I just want to be able to say the number, I'm sitting on a powerful 34.
I mean, you're behind me, so that kind of makes sense, because you basically have all of me blocking you, so no one's gonna know you're there.
For some reason, all that people see and think that they see is audience is suddenly wearing a feather cloak. Black feather cloak. Alright, so... Oh, that's right. I said there's no... Let's have something slightly
Ominous.
worrying as you're approaching.
Alright. So yeah, we'll start sneaking forward.
Alright. With that roll, you managed to sneak a little bit forward. And so far, no one has seen you. You rolled pretty good. The guard, not so much. Remy, you have this moment of exasperation as some of the guards are walking and... you do remember we're trying not to be seen. But Kalina, to as much not a surprise at all and extreme surprise, you have no clue where she is.
Swear to God, if she left again. Swear to God. I'm like, well, if she left, she's dead. I don't care. What
She just wandered over to where the soldiers are engaging those two groups. It's just like, I've always wanted to see this.
All right. So, next round we have two engage here. They're trying to leave. Draw them out. Let's. Okay. The group to the left is managing to pull the center group of monster further out of alignment, and they're following them. However, they're very close to the other group, and the one to the left is starting to take heavy losses. You see from where you are, their numbers dwindling.
It's fine as long as they can get them out.
The group on the right, however, is faring better, although you do have a moment of concern in your mind as they're moving. They're managing to pull monsters a bit, but they seem to have attracted the attention of the group that was higher to them. They're not taking any losses right now, but the future is not looking bright for them.
Future's not looking bright. Alright, so I'm gonna say we have about probably 2 more rounds to hit this gap before these armies are not in a good
Horses in
predicament.
charge.
No, we can probably do 1 more round of sneaking, I think. Get at least within... Because I said I want to get to about... How far are we away right now? How many feet, would you say? After that round of sneaking?
Right now, you'd be about roughly 4,000 feet away from the door.
Or I don't care about the door, from the line of the army. Because I don't think we're gonna... Because we just need to get within the city's defenses.
Maybe 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah, alright, let's do 1 more round of sneaking, try and get within, 300 feet, and then cast the horses. Because then we can cover that ground really fast before they can react. Let's do 1 more round.
Yes.
Just for a partial mechanical advantage, or turn advantage rather. Perhaps we could be encouraged to all, or at least those not currently on a mount, could hold action to immediately mount a horse once one appears, so that they're not using up the
round.
The round, yeah.
All right, I'll ready in action to jump on a horse and hightail it out of there.
Yeah, I will ready in action to summon the horses.
So do we have to all roll another stealth roll for this next round now?
Since no one has been seen, no. But the enemy does get another chance.
Are we allowed to roll? Are we allowed to roll again to see if we can get better rolls? Especially for the guards.
Since there is a change of positioning by the position that Remy said, preparing yourself. Yeah, I can allow a new roll since you are essentially breaking stealth and reorganizing yourself so that you can react faster.
Alright.
I can allow it.
Let's do that. That's a lot better. That's a 29 for Magna. So a lot better. 10 better. Some might
I
say.
got 1 better, a 20.
20's better.
Okay. You do remember you have a plus 10.
Oh, wait. 24.
Okay. Jorg?
Oh. I got a natural 20.
For a grand total of 32?
32.
All right.
So we all rolled better. Hopefully the guards rolled better.
One guard rolled better. One guard actually rolled extremely better, but not the 5 others.
Oh, okay. You're saying one at a time. Okay. I was like, really?
Oh, I thought they were all rolling for one stealth.
Not for the 6 guards. No.
Okay.
I'm counting them a bit as you. That's why I have 3 d20s in my hands. That way
I
it's
see.
fast to roll. I had a 4th one, but I dropped it on the floor, so now.
Alright, well, I'm not that worried about Kalina. So
But that soldier's dead.
All right.
That's okay. At least overall, our party's more stealthy.
Yes. Well, you, Kalina, and one of the 6 guards are stealthier.
Jorg disappeared.
And Jorg's gone. I mean, I assume I'm gone with it. Baghdad, I assume's gone too with the 29. Like,
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I mean, if you all weren't very close together, encircled by this magical field, there would be no chance that you'd be able to see one another with rolls like this.
fair enough. Alright. So, yeah, one more round of sneaking, and then we're gonna go.
All right.
Within like 500
Let's see what happens with the... Ooh.
It's okay. They can all get slaughtered now. They just need to pull them out. We're going next round anyway.
No, actually...
Incidentally.
All right, so the guards to the left... The group of guards to the left is... just suffered a very catastrophic roll for their position. And most of their groups simply get slaughtered. You simply see them all fall one by one. And there is this moment where the enemy is just very content with what they did. The one on the right, however, does notice that it's getting to be a little bit dicey. The enemy is not following them any further. And they're taking fire from a variety of energy beam of different colors.
How pretty.
Sorry?
How pretty.
Well, you've got beams of red color, green color, white color, yellow color, blue color, red color. Am I missing a color?
Is this the spell I think it is, or is this like different spells?
It is a bunch of colored beam.
Okay, because like there's a very specific spell that like just like let's just do all the colors.
There's.
No, those are very focused beams of energy that have different colors.
Alright.
We got to start booking it.
Yeah. Well, especially if the group on the left did. Well, I mean, we had a whole round to sneak, so how far are we at this point from it?
You are basically where the enemy was.
Yeah. Alright. I'll be like Jorg. I'll kind of look at Jorg and just be like, Jorg, now.
Horses.
Basically, get ready to go.
Horses.
All right.
Horses.
I'll jump up, forget, or dispel my cloak of darkness, and 8 horses suddenly appear. Do the riding horses run faster than the?
In 5th edition, I don't think so, but in past edition, yes.
Riding horses are slightly faster than draft horses.
Yeah, so if you can make the same amount of both, do the riding horses.
I'm doing riding horses then. Yup, yeah, 60 versus 40 feet. So yeah, I'm doing riding horses, and I'll turn into one myself.
No, wait, you're 60 feet? Oh, I'm gonna be slower than you guys. I'm 10 feet slower. I think I'm only 50. That's okay.
Uh-oh.
No, it'll be okay. I'm in front, so I also, to be fair, while you're summoning the horses, I've already taken off. So I probably have a good, 20, 30 feet on you guys anyway.
And
So you'll catch up.
beside, people are going to be shooting at you from your back. You have a protection behind you.
Yeah. Audience is gone. Audience, when he was like, go, Jorg, that was also his, I'm dashing 100 feet per turn towards that door.
All right,
Rainy
well,
holding tightly onto audience for dear life.
it's pretty impressive. They all mount up these horses in very proficient way. I haven't done Kalina. Yeah, okay. They all mount up these horses in a very proficient way, doing their best to hold on because none of these horses have saddles. But it's just slightly more difficult. But they do manage without any problem. However, you do notice immediately that at least one of the group has noticed you as soon as this happened.
That's fine. We're faster. Just fucking go.
Jorg will scoop up Toby as a horse
All right.
and start galloping as fast as he can towards the castle.
All right. So, for what are they doing? One of them is feeling silly and they're just going back to their position.
This feeling silly.
Well, yeah, they rolled
That's
so
silly.
low, they really aren't noticing that anything's happening. This group is trying to move toward you. This group is trying to move toward you. The soldiers go back and try to attract its attention by trying to get them in a what looks like a pincer's position should you attack, trying to make them feel threatened, however putting themselves in danger with the other group that was following them. However, the group following them
Guys.
doesn't manage to make a whole lot of problem. The group is taking some losses, but it is minor. And you start booking it. Alright. After this maneuver is over, this is roughly what it's going to update in a few moments. Will be roughly
Jorg is gonna
how
whinny menacingly.
this looks.
20 minutes.
I actually do want to hear the sound of a horse trying to threaten me. I want to have that ingrained into my brain.
Are you giving me full liberty of choosing the horse? There's a reason why they call this a nightmare. So, all right. Well, you notice that the hole is quickly filling itself up behind you, but you are so far without any problem. However, as you are galloping as fast as you can, and I'd like to at least make some of you do an animal handling check with advantage for those who are on creature summon, because they are trying to actually keep you on. So for, well, Jorg, you are Tobiashi's horse, so you get to do a normal roll. And I guess it's just me that's doing roll with advantages because only the
Fisher would have to roll.
Oh no. No!
well, for you, Fisher,
Why is
it
Fisher
would
making a
be,
wisdom roll?
for you, Fisher, it would not be a animal handling check. It would be an athletic check because you are the horse.
Why
Well,
aren't
Fisher-
horses water?
No,
why
Fisher.
aren't-
No, Fisher's on a
Water
normal
vehicles.
horse.
Fisher's
Toby's
on
on
a normal horse.
me. So Toby has to do an acrobatic.
Fisher has to do it.
Athletics.
All right. Well,
Athletics.
audience, do you want to do Fisher's
Yeah,
animal
I will
handling?
do your
I'm not
advance.
doing
He
like
gets advantage.
horse tricks on my back.
No. I got a 22.
Ooh.
Yeah, Fisher got an 8. Fisher's struggling.
Oh no.
Fisher gets a -1 to that.
Oh, goodness. Alright, so Fisher is really struggling and slowing the group down along...
We're not waiting for him. It's not slowing the group down. He might be slow. I'm not waiting for him.
Oh wait, no, wait, hold on. Wait, did Draken say you could do an athletics for Fisher?
No.
No, for George.
Because I was
Oh,
right.
okay. Sorry, I honestly was right.
Fisher is in the back struggling. Robot does not know how to ride horse.
It's a living thing. What do I do with this? I keep smacking it on the head and it's not moving faster.
Luckily, Fisher has the highest AC, so if he's taking the back end of the fire, he's most likely to be okay.
Yes, of course. Alright, so you're all moving forward and suddenly you hear one of the guard just scream at you to hurry up. And all he says is, "Quick, hurry up! Beholders!"
I don't know what that is, but I'm going... Oh, I do actually know what beholders... Well, I don't know if I know what beholders are. I know what beholders
Well,
are.
Remy saw them in his...
Yeah.
Damn.
In his like what was it called? Like
Set
what we might
of
call
epic-
it, his strategic
Yes.
battle simulation.
Fisher, I mean, audience doesn't know what beholders are, but he doesn't care, because there's something, and he's running from it.
So all you see for you... okay, and actually I really probably should roll this. So... oh wow, this is starting really well. This is
When the
incredibly...
defenses of the city gonna start helping us out. We're in rage. Help us. We got Kalina.
So, as soon as he starts screaming this, audience, you don't... well, Remy, you have seen what this is. And so you have a moment of... audience, you do not know what this is, but you really, really, really quickly learn that you do not want to know what this is. As you instinctively just slightly turn your head as you hear this guard screaming, and you just see him vaporize. There is this beam of energy that hits him, and he just...
Like, I'll just be like, yeah, sorry guys, my lessons plans didn't cover beholders. That's my bad. Keep going. Our survival techniques. Survival tricks and tips with audience to not cover beholders.
Another one of the guards managed to dodge out. Another one of the guards managed to dodge out. Well, now you know where Kalina is. She's dead as the center of the group. She's very near to where audience is, just slightly behind you. But she is very proficiently riding this horse. But everything keeps moving forward. One of the guards, however, his horse needs to make a... It was... oh. It's a dexterity saving throw.
I believe in you, guard.
You got this, guard.
Is he within 10 feet? Is he within 10 feet of me?
Ooh. That horse rolled a 17.
Oh, damn, you're so lucky. He is very close to you, but apparently it doesn't matter. The beam is narrowly avoided by the horse by barely an inch. Just see this rock-colored beam just going.
Ooh, that would have turned into stone, I think, too.
Ooh, that would have sucked, because then he would have stopped, and then the guard would have just like slid forward and slammed his balls on the north.
Oh no, that guard would have been done.
Neck.
That guard would have been done. That guard would have been toasted.
Yeah.
But
All right. And so that concludes this round. So I'm guessing you keep on moving forward.
yeah, we're just all of our actions are dash. We are getting to the door as
As long
quick as
as-
possible. Audience is shouting, "We have Kalina with us," in case there are people up there that want to help us out.
We have Kalina!
And we're getting pretty close to the wall.
Yeah, it's... Well, you have 2 more rounds of enduring this.
Uh-oh.
2 more rounds. Alright, fine.
Oh. Alright, well... One of the guard gets hit with... Oh, that's not so bad. Come on. Everyone is riding as best they can, and then suddenly one ray hits one of the guard, and you don't see any visible effect except he turns and strikes the guard with his elbow, making him fall. He pulls on the rein, he pulls on the horse, and is preparing to attack its own friend.
Uh-oh, can the horse buck him off?
And of course, it's your horse. You're still in range of giving it orders.
I'll tell it to get that guard off, so he doesn't attack any of the other horse riders.
Okay, and so the formation is who's in front, who's in the sides, and who's in back. And
I guess I'd still be in front.
everyone is catching up to you, but yeah, okay.
Where are we, Jorg?
Jorg, probably right in the middle, because I'm trying to help wrangle my summoned horses.
Okay. So Kalina slightly to your right. To your left, I mean, and Remy with audience. Alright. Which means, Tobiyashi, would you do a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
Does he get the +2?
You are in a very tight formation. I will give it to you.
Alright, we get +2.
Can- Wait, but I thought you were up ahead.
But well, you guys have caught up to me at this point. It's been a couple. I run 10 feet.
Okay.
I rolled a 20.
Nice.
That's good. You narrowly... Your intuition just kicks in at the last moment, and you have this reflex of looking slightly next to you, and you see this bright beam of color arriving, and you dodge. You see the beam go right where your head was, and just keep going. A very thick red beam.
I'm just gonna keep going. There's nothing else we could do.
Keep your head down, boy.
One of the enemy group completely breaks formation and start running after a handful of the guards that have managed to pull them away from you while you were running, and has managed to break the group in. But they are far behind.
I believe in them. I believe.
Which means it's only
Do
that.
they get like a purple shield or something if they make it?
They get something. They get a pat on the back. They get you beat the odds of fate because fate literally told them that they died. So they get the you beat fate reward.
You have this audience, you have this unfortunate gut feeling that some of them are gonna manage to get through, and you slightly turn your head to your right, looking at them running, and you see half of their group get obliterated by a variety of beams. Some of them just poof out, some fall to the ground dead. Some of them are just yanked out of their position and thrown in the middle of this group following them. They are getting hammered hard. But they have managed to distract the group following them, and those one are not attacking you.
Alright.
We should have gave them the blue brick.
Nope. You might want that in the future. They were gonna die
Guys,
anyway.
I am so. By the way, I just want to state I'm just so proud that the brick did not come up at all during our planning session.
Oh,
I'm
Remy,
so proud
I
of you
thought
guys.
about it.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I was like, I was not gonna bring it up. I was like, I'm not bringing up the.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I need Toby and George to go off on how we should make a bomb distraction.
Exactly.
Would have been so good.
No.
You-
So,
We could still use it.
We could still use it.
Yeah.
just
What,
throw
smoke
it!
screen with it?
Or if he just eyeballs you with an ice beam, then you'll just blow up.
You get the achievement of not looking at your own explosion. You just throw
Well,
it.
if an ice beam, to be fair, if an ice beam hits Fisher's backpack, it does blow up, and we're all in tight formation. So we better hope the ice beam doesn't hit
Yeah.
Fisher's backpack.
Yeah.
I'll say that very loud. Just kidding. I won't. I'm a horse. I can't say that very loudly.
All you hear is nay.
Nah. But other horses are like, a bomb in his backpack? What are you talking about?
The horses.
All right. Now you have this last round. You are approaching and you are hearing a very deafening hum coming from the castle in front of you. Apparently, some of the wards are powering up. The large crystals on top of the tower. And while most of the enemy following you have decided not to follow, you do have a small contingent of Beholder still chasing you.
Well,
And on the
I'd say I would have probably fallen behind on this last round. I'd probably be more in the middle now, because I assume the other horses are starting to pass me.
all right, and so the attack goes.
Actually, by the way,
Yes.
it's like, exactly how far away is this beholder?
They are reaching the limit of their range. So right now they're chasing you at a distance of nearly 100 feet.
You know what? Since audience is doing the driving right now, you know, Ramey's just gonna hold an action like in, in like preparing short bow, because fuck it. If it gets too close, he's just gonna fire.
Well, they're having trouble catching up to you. They're slowly falling behind. From the tactical exercise that you did, Beholder aren't that fast. They usually just float and hover. These ones, they're flying, man. Something's making them go fast.
It's a good thing we created that hole first. It didn't try and maybe create a distraction with something like a bomb.
Yeah.
Alright, so one of the guards gets attacked. We get 3 beams reaching the group. One of the guards, you simply see the guy with the horse, and then suddenly the guard go, "Ah!" Gets yanked out of the horse and pulled back into whatever is happening.
Can I make a reaction to try and catch him or no?
He's not on your horse.
True.
Can I put? I was gonna say, can I shoot some silk at him?
Spider-Man
him.
You can, but you have to feel confident that you are stronger than whatever's pulling him away. But you
Yeah,
can.
otherwise you're going to be pulled off.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I'd have to hold on to Jorg really hard.
Mhm.
I don't think so.
It's your choice.
Yeah. No, I think the guards that go.
Yeah, I think the guard's gone.
As long as it's not Kalina, we're fine.
And you said that you've fallen slightly behind, so you are
I
at the
fall to the
same.
middle.
You are at the same level as Tobiyashi. So
Yeah.
and technically.
Why am I getting hit again?
Technically speaking, if he's attacking you, audience, he has to go through Remy.
He
So,
does have to go through Remy.
let's go with this. Who wants Remy? Do you want even or odd to see who he attacks?
Going for odds.
Tobiyashi, would you make a dexterity saving throw for me, please?
You got this, Toby.
Don't forget your +2.
Oh God.
9.
Oh god.
That's not.
I rolled a
gonna pass.
natural 1.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
that's not gonna pass.
Oh.
It's been good knowing you, Toby.
I know! Ah! God dang it.
Alright, so...
George, you're gonna have to go back and get him.
Just keep running, George.
Just
No,
keep
I'm
running.
coming back for you. Don't worry.
Well, fortunately for you,
If I live...
it's not something that's gonna kill you right off. Roll the 4, and the 4 is the slowing ray. So, Tobiyashi, you get hit right in the back with this ray, and you feel it, and then everything starts going really fast around you. But everyone else looks at Tobiyashi, and he's going, I just got hit.
I'm like, all right, well, Toby's on drugs again. That's good to know.
It's not relative to the ground, right? So he's still on my back.
Yes.
Luckily, it didn't
That's
hit
good.
you. It hit Toby. So
Yeah.
fine.
Just me being a really slow horse.
Luckily, Toby doesn't have to do much.
Does that
Toby's
give
not
me
running.
disadvantage on dexterity saving throws?
What it does
won't-
is slow. On the target speed is halved. In addition, the creature can't take reaction and can take either an action or a bonus action on its turn. You have the right to make a saving throw on each of your turn to try to break the effect. But essentially, now all you can do is completely focus on not letting go of the horse.
Or is it just like vibrating under you and like speeding along?
I'm just like,
It just feels like the world is moving so fast right now.
Toby didn't know Jordan
That's a-
became a bullet train.
just about to have a panic attack. I'm just like...
And audience, you have this moment of your heart skipping a beat as you see one of the beam goes right for Kalina. And then just before it arrives, she turns one of her arm, and you see some sort of energy push the beam away, coming from her bracelet. You just see the beam go.
I was like, damn, I should put Kalina at the back. She's gonna block. Block the beams.
Well, Taranat did say that her bracers were too pristine to not have been enchanted in some way.
Yes. She got Wonder Woman's bracers.
not that enchanted. Just want to make this clear. Not that enchanted.
Look, we'll be waiting for further evidence of Wonder Woman lineage. Just let us know if she suddenly loses all of her power when she's in bondage, which is a real weakness, by the way.
I know. It's just in this situation. Yes. So, thank goodness not a lot of people send me messages on our Twitter. So
Alright.
Look, I didn't write the character. Some other guy did. And that weakness, I believe, has largely been removed since, the Silver Age and later.
So, as these beams just keep appearing right next to you and very close to you, narrowly escaping all of these beams, you realize that there's only 2 guards still following you and Kalina. One of them got yanked, one got disintegrated, one of them got charmed and pushed the other guy out from the where he was, and he just got trampled by, well, one of the beholders.
That's okay. Two is something.
As you arrive, and you start seeing the first of the two drawbridge, you also hear the one of the crystal on top of the tower reaching this very high pitch shriek, and you feel it's almost as if you feel, I don't know, someone throwing an elephant near you, but you feel the energy just pulsing out, and poof, it's like standing next to a tank firing, just to give you an idea. Or if you ever played StarCraft 1 and forgot that you had your earphones on and your camera was right next to a tank in siege mode. It feels a bit like that when it fires. It really wakes you up, and all you hear behind is this explosion. You instinctively turn around, but you see that, oh shit, they're not firing at the beholders, they're firing at giant-sized creature making their way toward you. Apparently they had more coming your way. But as soon as this arrives, Kalina pulls on the horse and turns around, facing the enemy. Do you keep on going, or do you stop with her?
I mean, I'll stop. I'm not arriving to a gate without the person we're supposed to be protecting. That's not a good look.
I can't choose what we do. Jorg does.
Yeah, I'll stop. Turn around.
Yeah, for
We turn around
Tobiashi,
super
everything's
fast, I'm just like, whoop.
for Tobiashi,
Yeah.
everything's happening really fast. He arrives and, God damn it, stop! What happened? I will allow you to make a saving throw to get out of the
Which saving throw?
well, dexterity. They don't say that it changes, so keep on doing dexterity saving throw.
You still get your +2 from me.
12.
Doesn't help. You still see the world going really fast around you, which is too bad. The next phase is going to be slightly impressive. You see these giant. They look like normal giant. Audience, you're probably the one who is the most familiar with giant, as you've seen some from afar. They do hassle many of the Dragonborn villages from time to time, so you recognize this is a giant. Giant aberration don't exist, but it's a giant, and it's with the aberrations. And they're covering whatever group is making its way. They are taking the brunt of the attack. And when she turns around, you see some of them, including one beholder, move to the side and starts moving in your direction. She turns around toward you, audience, who stop, and she smiles and says, "Watch this." And then suddenly you feel this odd connection of power to the ground. You see a stream of energy just appearing as if a lightning bolt, and then suddenly you see this impulse of energy falling right in front of you, hitting the ground so hard you feel the wind blowing. The horse, your mount, even steps back just a few steps, trying to keep itself up. You see the bursts of energy, like watching someone who's using thunderclap just outside of your range. It just sparks energy and fades immediately. You see at the center of it something that does not disappoint, but is also slightly different than how it was described. You see at the center of this a dragonborn. Tall, and the first thing you notice, he's slightly taller than you, audience, and slightly larger than you. His knees are just slightly bent, and his arms are open on each side. He has radiant white scale. But you know this pattern. You can see blue scales going from the side of his neck and going from to the front. And he doesn't have reptile radiant wing. He has feathery white wings. The design is extremely familiar to how your friend Dragonborn could transform. But he has wings, and they are open as wide as they can be. The light that is shining from him is nearly blinding. He looks up toward the beholder coming, and you see him open his mouth, adopting a bracing position, something you haven't done when you are using your breath weapons since you've been learning how to use them when you were barely a few years old and the power coming out of you was a bit too small, too much. But what comes out of his mouth is a beam of radiant energy. And if your breath weapon is considered a stream of energy, his is considered a river of power. It expands from his mouth, nearly 5 feet wide, and pushed forward at the very least 60 feet, if not 90 feet away. You can almost hear something angelic singing as this beam of power nearly deafens you. How much it just screams out. The air is saturated with radiant energy to the point that you can even taste it. The light is so blinding, it's like trying to watch the sun. And when the beam of energy stops, you feel this suction as if the whatever was there disappeared too quickly. And everything goes back to silent. You stop hearing this angelic choir singing at the background, and the beholder that was arriving is just not there anymore. Along with one of the foot of the giant that was trying to make its way to you. You just see him fall to the side. He turns around, his wings follow him, but they fold back and they simply just dematerialize. Turns back toward all of you. And the few guards that are there. Get her back inside the castle, now! You get one of the guards saying, "We can..." You stay behind. She gets to the door, or no one gets to the door. As long as she's not in, you're all dead. You're fighting to stay alive. Go now!
Alright, well, that's good enough for me. I'll be like, let's go clean up.
He stays behind. All you see just before you leave is him drawing a sword, which can only describe as the thing that you've always wanted to have. It just looks like a two-handed holy avenger pulling out of whatever sheet he has, emanating light. And he's, as best you can describe, heroically jumps toward the enemy coming right at all of you.
So I'll lean back to her and I'll be like, so Randy, I need you to steal me that sword before we go back to the future.
Well, I'd like to know what Remy's thinking right now.
I mean, like, you know, just like after witnessing like possibly one of the most beautiful things that he has seen in his entire life. It's like, I also feel like also in this moment, like especially if Tarragon is like already started moving, like Raimi has been channeling his inner owl as his head has mysteriously found a way to
Being able to turn
make its way 180 degrees out of position.
I've just dislocated my neck. I don't care.
I just hear a crack from behind me. I'm like, what?
You push
Just
forward.
looks like a flash of light to me.
Well, that's why I said it's slightly too bad for you, because all you see is this explosion of light, and then you feel something sucking, and you're all moving again.
Audience is seriously wondering if this is actually like a, or if it's like an avatar of like a semi, because he hasn't seen. He's low-key debating if it's an avatar or something, but he'll ask that later.
It's almost like you don't believe it's your god that you are like touting about.
No, but I do believe. I just want to know if this guy's an avatar, because I've seen very powerful champions, and I've never seen any breath. I also know a lot about Dragonborn. I've never seen a dragon with that kind of a Dragonborn with that kind of ability, or even close to that kind of ability. So I'm questioning whether it's an avatar.
You all push forward and easily find yourself in front of the gate at the second drawbridge. You hear the tower increasing their rate of fire. Every time you hear this high-pitched sound and you hear this large explosion, and you even hear it again, the breath weapon of that Dragonborn just sweeping the field. You rather easily manage to get to the door. However, one of the guard managed to evade the last attempt at a beholder to try and catch the group. And just narrowly, really, what kind of beam did he avoid? Okay, well, he narrowly avoided a translucent beam that goes pass right next to his head. But you make your way inside of the first gate. Kalina next to you with a single guard.
No, 2 guards, right?
No, I mean with her on the horse. Was she alone, or was
Yeah.
there a guard with her?
Oh no. Well, she could have been. We actually ended up with enough horses for everyone.
Well, in that case, alone on her horse. And 2 other guards.
By the way, how did Fisher get here? How did he do?
He's arriving right now.
Oh, good.
He's the last one in because he had so much trouble with that horse.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And it even becomes even more apparent that this Dragonborn, which you suspect is probably Kadzkan.
Not the dragon.
Well, Kalina described an incredibly powerful guardian of the city, and she called him Kadzkan. So,
Yeah. Oh.
No, he's a Dragonborn. I'm just wondering if he's if he is a Dragonborn or if he's some kind of avatar.
Yeah.
The Last Airbender?
well, that
Or he
would
at
be the
least
last
has
Radiant
avatarial
Airbender.
powers.
And a few moments after, like I said, Fisher arrives, gets back in, and you find yourself secured in front of the gate, allowing to come in, and he looks slightly shaken, but not stirred. Sorry, I don't know when he's joking. He looks slightly shaken from everything that has just happened, but very knowledgeable that this Dragonborn most likely has just saved his life. Along with 1 guard. Yes.
2 guards.
No, I mean one of the soldier. One soldier makes
Let's
it
go!
to the wall.
Oh wait, a soldier
One
survived.
guard,
The
one
chosen
soldier.
one.
Hey!
Was it one of the ones that listened to my advice on how to
Yes.
survive? Let's go.
Damn.
Wait, no, hold on. Was it the soldier that had the truffle?
Oh, that I don't know. That's a good idea. That's a good question. Let's see.
Soldier.
He had the truffle boon.
One chance out of...
40.
No, that wasn't him. Sorry, he died.
Damn.
He died.
You know what? He went out with a good chocolate.
Yeah.
Can we all be
Yeah.
so lucky?
Should have gone out addicted to it. Put in a platinum.
Should spend all. You should have just told him. You should be like, "Listen, you're gonna die tomorrow. Just spend the plat you have. Spend it all."
And even when you arrive, he's sort of panting really hard, and you get the feeling that he's trying not to just puke out his lungs. And and help! Thanks! A lot! But you make a few steps and the gate falls, and you look outward, and that dragonborn, annoyingly for some, but not for everyone, simply jumps out from where he is. And straight on top of the gate. Apparently it's not hard for him to make a 150 feet jump.
Yeah, that guy's definitely in. Something's up. I'm,
And
Yeah.
so,
level 20 adventurers can't make 150 foot jumps either, so there's something going on.
and so, although you lost more guards than you thought you would, but you managed to save one soldier. And Tobiyashi is looking at the world very slowly.
Should I roll again?
Yes, you can.
17.
That is enough. After seeing all of this and being very lost, suddenly the world starts going back at the normal speed. And oh, you realize that one of the soldiers is there. But the story said you had 6 guards and there's only 2 left.
I look around really quick, looking at Jorg, and I throw up off to the side.
I'm still a horse.
Well, yeah, I'm on top of you still.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah.
want to throw up on you.
The story was slightly different when he told to you, but it didn't lie. All of you and Kalina made it to the walls. And I think that's a very nice place where we can end today's episode. Unless there's one last thing you want to say. The door has closed, and you even felt some sort of energy just vibrate from the outer wall. And you get the sense that some sort of ward, some sort of protection has been activated.
Does me puking make the soldier puke?
He's already puking its lungs out because he ran so
Okay.
hard. So
Good, good, good. At least I'm not the only one puking.
How traumatized is that?
Audience has a lot to ask the commander, but I'll save that for next session.
okay.
Jorg will whinny and shake his mane. And the other horses laugh.
Audience needs to go ask that what's it called? The dragon of like what he plans to do with his sword when he either dies or goes from this world, so I can go find it later in the future.
Well, you have this moment of I have to know where the sword is going to be. I'm going to ask him. And then you remember what the story says that happens next. He's not going to be in a good mood. Because he's supposed to put the Kalina in her place. Because she failed at her duties in some way.
Yeah, that's fine. He can still tell me where the sword's gonna be.
Oh yeah, and Raimi finally fixes his neck. Audience hears a loud crack.
you see Remy there. Oh! Now he's hoping he has X-ray vision, but it's not working.
Yeah.
And so, safe for now, because of course, when you look out, you see the enemy going back into position, and you know that within the next 8 hours, the city is going to be completely surrounded by an overwhelmingly large enemy force. But the walls and barriers are holding right now, and so you're safe. You make a few more steps toward the entrance of the city, looking at all the guards looking at you, slightly nervous. And just as you're all stepping to the second level of this gate, you all get surprised by a shrieking sound, and then suddenly large tendril of energy appears and snap on Fisher's backpack.
No!
And this is where we're going to leave this episode.
They can speak horse.
No, I think audience understands what just happened.
Uh-oh.
There's a security system.
What's in Fisher's backpack, guys?
Oh shit, no!
None of you prepared for how you were gonna convince them not to murder an aberration entering in their castle.
Wow.
I'm gonna let you try to figure this out.
I was about to have to pull out the fucking performance of his lifetime.
I think Toby's just gonna leave.
And so we leave.
Luckily, we're coming in a good place. We're coming in having saved their lady, so she can vouch for us. So we
Yeah.
got something going for us, but it's gonna take a little bit of explaining.
I mean, also, I've just been quietly not mentioning the fact that we haven't been drawing attention to Terry, in the sense that I don't think that Fisher's been feeding them.
No.
Well, fortunately, he did give him a animal feeder right before this happened.
He's got the hamster thing. He's like,
You can't understand just how lucky that was, provided you can get out of this problem. All right.
I guess it's a good thing that we keep him in a box.
All right, so like I said, this is where today's episode ends. So thank you very much for watching. I'm going to put back a little bit of music, but different from combat. Let's go with a thunderstorm. I feel like Bob Ross trying to describe his painting. Let's go with a gentle thunderstorm. Thank you very much for listening to tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed the show. And of course, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing to Twitch. And of course, you can always help us simply by spreading the word, making sure that a whole lot of people actually watch us. And so, thank you for watching. I hope we'll see you on next Wednesday or Friday if you're watching this on a rebroadcast. And, as always, stay safe and stay healthy. Good night.
night.
Good night.
Sure.